A controversial political activist shot and killed on the campus of a Utah college. 31-year-old Charlie Kirk, founder of political organization Turning Point USA, is dead. The conservative activist and Trump ally fatally shot while speaking at his own event. Tonight, a manhunt is still underway for the assassin. This is the 10 o'clock news. I'm Jason Martinez.
I'm Sheba Russell. The head of the FBI announcing tonight that a person they took into custody just minutes after the shooting has been questioned and released, with Utah's public safety commissioner saying that person is now in the county jail charged with obstruction of justice and not an accurate person of interest. Now, video captured the chaos this afternoon as the crowd dispersed quickly after hearing that gunshot at Utah Valley University. Students, school staff members, and supporters all running for cover as confusion and panic set in. And then more dramatic video here showing Kirk being carried off by his security and rushed into an SUV. An officer tries to block students from getting closer.
And here's what we know tonight at 10 o'clock. The media personality known for rallying young conservatives was doing just that this afternoon at Utah Valley University. Just after noon local time, police say a shot rang out, a single shot, with the bullet appearing to hit Kirk in the neck. Authorities in Utah say the shot came from some distance away. President Donald Trump announced Kirk's death hours later on social media. Officials in Utah speaking out tonight.
We just need every single person in this country to think about where we are and where we want to be. To ask ourselves, is this it? Is this what 250 years has wrought on us? I pray that that's not the case.
Again, as of right now, there is reportedly no person of interest in custody at this time. A closer look now at Kirk's background. He rose from a teenage conservative campus activist to a top podcaster and ally of President Trump with more than 7 million followers on social media. He then launched his right-wing organization Turning Point USA in 2012, targeting younger people, eventually mobilizing a Get Out the Vote campaign in support of Trump in 2016, then supported Trump again in 2020, and most recently 2024. Fox's Brian Yennis is in New York with the latest.
This is a political assassination.
Chaos at Utah Valley University. Students running after hearing a gunshot during an outdoor campus event with a 31-year-old Turning Point USA CEO.
We did have 6 officers working that event. We had probably over 3,000 people that were in attendance.
According to authorities, Kirk was shot from a nearby rooftop in a targeted attack. He was rushed to a local hospital, but did not survive. Campus immediately closed and classes are canceled until further notice as local police and the FBI investigate.
The only information we have on the suspect, the possible shooter, is taken from closed-circuit TV here on campus, but it is security camera footage, so you can kind of guess what the quality of that is. But we do know dressed in all dark clothing.
We will find you. We will try you. And we will hold you accountable.
Kirk's death prompting reaction from both sides of the aisle on the rise in political violence.
This is detestable, what's happened. Political violence has become all too common in American society, and this is not who we are.
Violence is never the answer. We just cannot be a country that turns to violence when we disagree.
And that was Brian Yennis reporting. Let's take you live now to the White House. And as you just heard, the president ordering all American flags to be flown at half-staff through this Sunday evening at 6 o'clock. As you see at the White House, that is the case there. The president releasing this message moments ago.
This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever.
The president goes on to say that Charlie's legacy will live on for countless generations to come.
Many of Kirk's supporters were college students and young people, but he was also a divisive figure. Our Shawnette Wilson spoke with students at Villanova University about the rising political star gunned down. Shawnette.
Well, Sheba, they say he was most certainly polarizing, but students I talked to both on and off camera are divided on his impact and influence among college students.
It rattled me, and I was like, there's no way we just lost, you know, such a prominent member of our society just like that.
Taking a life is never the answer to anything, honestly, and no matter your opinion or feelings, it's a life that's gone now.
Students on the campus of Villanova are reacting to the news that stunned many. This Instagram page claims to be that of a Villanova chapter of Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk's political organization. Kirk is well known across college campuses.
Definitely with the younger generation. Yeah, he goes on debates with other college campuses and comes down to them. And I know people who watch his content and know a lot about him. And even if you haven't watched his stuff, I mean, he has a family too.
Many students feeling sad for Kirk's family, including his wife Erica and their 2 children, and that politics, they believe, seemingly played a part in what happened.
It's very disappointing, and this isn't about, you know, it's not a left versus right thing. It's just it's a society thing. And, you know, the fact that a disagreement in political views like causes this type of outlash it's disgusting. And, you know, no matter how you feel on his opinions, you know, it's not about what he thinks, it's about who he is as a person.
Others are reflecting on Kirk's stance on guns and gun violence. Kirk was a self-proclaimed supporter of the Second Amendment.
He's making all these comments about guns and how guns are not the problem, and then, you know, having this happen with a gun is kind of, because the other thing, here at Villanova, we had the shooting threat about 3 weeks ago, and so people here are, I would say, don't have very favorable views about gun violence and guns' role in gun violence.
This student also noting that Kirk was reportedly responding to a question about gun violence when he was shot.
I think there's a very cynical response, not that people were like wishing for this necessarily, but people kind of saying, you know, like, you make all these things and you have all these thoughts, and, you know, until it happens to you, this is what you believe.
And we did reach out to that Instagram account for the Villanova chapter of Turning Point USA. Jason and Sheba, we have not heard back as of yet.
All right, a mix of opinions there on the campus of Villanova. Thank you, Shawnette. We have more reaction now to Kirk's death. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro writing on X, quote, "Political violence has no place in our country. We must speak with moral clarity. The attack on Charlie Kirk is horrifying, and this growing type of unconscionable violence cannot be allowed in our society."
It's a personal message from Governor Shapiro, who's among the public figures who've been targeted in recent high-profile incidents of political violence. As you recall, the governor's residence in Harrisburg was set on fire in an arson attack back in April. Back in June, 2 Minnesota lawmakers were shot. House Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman killed along with her husband. State Senator John Hoffman and his wife were also injured. Days before that, a firebombing attack in Colorado injured 12 people during a demonstration calling for the release of Israeli hostages. And there have been not 1 but 2 attempts on the life of President Trump. The investigation and the discussion around today's shocking killing will continue in the days and weeks ahead. And coming up in just a bit, we'll speak with national security expert Jack Tomarchio about the latest on the investigation into Kirk's killing and the fallout and fears about what happens now.
We want to bring in former Undersecretary of Intelligence with the Department of Homeland Security, Jack Tomarchio, to talk more about this.
Jack, thanks for coming in tonight. Under these circumstances,
Yeah.
It's tough. Let's talk about the investigation right now as it stands. There's a gunman out there on the loose somewhere. We're told it was a long shot, maybe 200 yards. Somehow, some way, this person is still out there. 3,000 people, the gunman somehow got away. What do we know as far as that kind of person with the ability to fire that kind of single shot, a deadly one? What does that tell you?
Well, it tells me, first of all, we don't really know anything.
Yeah.
It could have been a lucky shot. It could have been a trained sniper. It could have been somebody that has military training. It could have been somebody that just practices as a hobby. We don't know anything. So this individual is completely free right now. The investigation is fluid. And we'll wait probably the next 24 hours. I suspect that the authorities will track him down. It's hard to run, but right now we don't know where he is.
We were hearing in the beginning about a possible suspect, right? Someone being held and questioned. And I think there's some concern tonight about a lot of resources were spent on that person and they wound up being the wrong person, and that the actual shooter is long gone. Can you walk us through what's happening behind the scenes right now?
Sure, absolutely. There is some video of some people on the roof of this building. That's not the best video from what I've been told. So they're analyzing that video. They're looking at other possible vectors where there could be other cameras, and often you'll find that there'll be another camera that somebody forgot about, and it might have a view of this. They're looking for, obviously, suspicious activities. If there's somebody right now driving like, you know, a demon to get to the Nevada line, they're going to look for people that want to get out of the area really quickly. They're certainly looking at individuals who have a record of threats towards political figures, whether it's on the right or the left. You can't rule anybody out. So those are things that are happening. And again, this is a very active, obviously, and very fluid situation.
Yeah, people are angry tonight, and you know, would you be worried as an authority of some kind of blowback or retaliation?
Absolutely, absolutely. I look at this as a national security issue, because what this does, this divides our country. And our adversaries, Russia, China, Iran, they love to see Americans at each other's throat. So yes, this is something that I'm concerned about, because there are people that would say, you know, well, they got one of ours, we'll get one of theirs. And that happens on both sides. Certainly, I've heard about individuals like Alex Jones, Steve Bannon, and Laura Loomer saying this is war, we have to have retaliation. That is not helpful. That is just not helpful. That is fanning the flames. And there are some misguided individuals who will say, well, gee, maybe I need to go out and pick a gun and shoot somebody.
Oh, gosh.
We do not need these things.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is the shooter is still out there. How concerned should we be that there may be more targets?
I think that's always something we have to worry about, that this may be more of a conspiracy, that there may be other targets that someone wants to get. Maybe there's 5 or 6 right-wing talking heads out there that they want to go after. But there's also, you have to be careful of the fact that there may be people on the other side of the political spectrum that say, well, now we're going to get back. And so it's very fluid right now. And what we need to do is we need to step back. We need to take a breath. We need to understand that we're all Americans here. And what Charlie Kirk was doing was exercising his First Amendment rights to speak. Whether you agree with him or not, he still has a right to say that. And he still has a right to engage in debate. And you don't get murdered for that.
And we can't have the result here be, don't have these conversations anymore, button up and don't exercise that First Amendment right.
That's right.
That can't be the result here.
Especially on a college campus, where we ask young students to be involved with each other in debate. That's part of the learning process. So that's also something I think it may put a chilling effect on college campuses. Maybe universities will say we don't want to have controversial speakers.
There had been some action on behalf of students to not even have him speak at the campus. You know, there was a petition. People were signing signatures on this petition, 1,000 people, you know, and then they had 1,000 show up, and then this happened. And security on campus is another issue too. Apparently that was.
They said
there were
6
some
police
holes in
officers
that as well.
for 3,000 students. Is that sufficient to you?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Students' bags were not checked.
And they were probably campus cops, probably.
They were.
Again, they work hard, but no.
Not enough.
3,000 people, 6, no, not.
Jack Tomarchio, thank you very much for your expertise here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.